Dirt Trax TV is sponsored by Polaris, think outside. Can-Am, follow your path. Yamaha's proven off-road side-by-sides and ATVs, realize your adventure. Team MSC, when you just gotta have the best. Honda Power Sports, power your dreams, whatever the terrain.
What is value? Getting more for your money? Maybe getting the most for your money? If you really think about it, value is relative. It has to be. You can't determine whether or not something is valuable unless you ask the most important question. Compared to what? Now this is why I'm going to say that Can-Am's 2025 Defender HD7 DPS is a value side-by-side even though it costs over 14 grand. Now I can already hear you squirming in your seat, fingers ready to post comments about how a $14,000 side-by-side is not a value model and how everything is so expensive these days. But I've done the research, and while you might not like it, Can-Am's Defender DPS is the cheapest full-size power steering equipped side-by-side in the industry. So if value is getting more for your money or spending less to get more, this Defender fits that description. So let's take a look at what you do get with this model. For starters, you're getting Can-Am's more than impressive HD7 engine package. Now this single-cylinder 52 horsepower engine package punches way outside of its weight range. It's good on fuel, ultra reliable, has excellent bottom end torque, better than many engines with much more displacement, and it's fun to drive. Is it perfect? No. In our testing, we found that there are times when the idle gets a little rough. And while the clutches are smooth and shift great when you're moving, for a vehicle that's so well suited to working around your property, clutch engagement is a little more abrupt than I'd like. Now these are minor gripes and things that I personally would be more than happy to live with long term. You also get shiftable 4x4 with turf mode, and this is really important. Who's the most likely buyer for an HD7 DPS? I think it's very attractive to mid to large size property owners and people who want a tough and reliable machine mostly to do work with the occasional afternoon of recreational riding. These people absolutely need turf mode, and it is standard on the HD7. Now obviously this model is a DPS, so power steering is standard and is the main mechanical upgrade over the base HD7. You do also get these really nice looking aluminum wheels though. The cargo box can haul an outstanding 1,000 pounds, and you can tow up to 2,500 pounds with the 2-inch hitch receiver. Clearly, getting things done around your property will be absolutely no problem. All of this is aided by the fact that you get 3 ITC drive modes, and it's all standard on all Defenders. Now, the power steering on this HD7 DPS is tuned very well. It's light without being too light. It makes maneuvering around your yard or the trails so much more pleasant. I personally wouldn't buy a Defender without it. Now let's talk a little about what you don't get with the more value-focused HD7 DPS. And before I get to the list, I have to say, I don't actually consider these things to be necessities. They are niceties, but you do not need them to make full use of this side-by-side. The seats are more basic and the driver's seat is not adjustable. You also don't get the brake hold feature, but honestly, these are the only mechanical differences between the DPS HD7 and the more expensive XT model. Obviously, you don't get the additional accessories like the fancy bumper or the roof or the winch, but those things you can easily add down the road if you find you need them. In every other way, the Defender HD7 DPS is just as ready as the XT to tackle anything you throw at it. In terms of usefulness, a hydraulically assisted dumping cargo bed with integrated tie-down points, tons of link accessory attachment points, and a one-hand opening tailgate are exactly the same parts as what you get on the highest spec Defender models. Now in terms of recreational capabilities, the 27-inch XPS Trail Force tires offer excellent ground clearance and more than enough traction in all conditions. The preload adjustable shocks are capable of handling the heaviest of loads, the trade-off being that they are a little stiffer than I'd like for just general trail riding. The bench seat has seat belts for 3 people and a flip-down center console for when the third seat isn't needed. Now this non-adjustable driver's seat is set to a very neutral position, making the driver compartment very comfortable for a wide range of people. This is also aided by the tilt steering column. Instrumentation is basic but leaves nothing to be desired, and the side nets are sturdy and easy to clip and unclip without impeding ingress and egress. As I said earlier, overall the HD7 DPS compromises almost nothing to be the lowest priced, full-size, 3-seat, power steering equipped 700 class side-by-side in the industry. So if you're looking to haul firewood, do landscaping, haul tools or gear, tow trailers or other items, or basically just do anything else you can imagine, and you want a capable, reliable, and powerful side-by-side to do it, But you also want to be able to head out on the trail, go exploring, or just have some fun when the workday is done. Can-Am's Defender HD7 DPS boasts outstanding value without sacrificing any of the necessary capabilities you're looking for.
This portion of Dirt Trax TV has been brought to you by MBRP Performance Exhaust, built for the victory lap.
After Kawasaki's introduction of the Ridge and Ridge XR models last season, many, including all of us here at Dirt Trax, expected to see a crew model released very soon. And we haven't been disappointed. The latest release from Kawasaki is, in fact, the Ridge and Ridge XR crew models. And after spending a few days testing the XR Limited in all kinds of conditions, I have to say that not only is it a good side-by-side, but I actually think I prefer the Ridge more as a crew. It's important to understand that, as far as I'm concerned, all of the crew models are really premium offerings, including standard features that are only seen on the highest end models from other brands. The base Ridge crew model features 12.7 inches of suspension travel from AA arms front and rear, 14-inch aluminum wheels wrapped in 27-inch tires, a large dumping cargo bed with one-hand tailgate, 3 drive modes, shiftable 4x4 with a rear diff lock setting, tilt steering, adjustable driver's seat, a tow rating of 2,500 pounds, and a cargo box capacity of 1,000 pounds. It also features a fully lined and insulated roof with dome lighting front and rear, glass front and rear windscreens, power windows front and rear, a windshield wiper with spray, and a rear view mirror. Of course, we can't talk about Ridge specifications without mentioning its incredibly smooth 999cc inline 4-cylinder engine. Also, it has to be mentioned that the crew models come in both standard and XR designations. Similar to the 2 and 3 passenger models, the XR crew gets an increase in horsepower from 92 to 116. Bucket seats up front versus the standard Ridge crew's front bench, locking front and rear diffs, 30-inch 8-ply tires, and LED accent lighting. Kawasaki positions the Ridge in all of its forms right between the Mule and the Teryx, basically saying that it's more sporty than a Mule, but designed to work harder than a Teryx, and I would say that this is true for the base models. But when it comes to the XR, after extensive testing of both, it seems to me it's every bit as sporty as the Teryx, lacking only a decent set of adjustable shocks. Now, unlike the short versions, all of the Ridge crew models get a full cab and HVAC. There are no open cab configurations. There are, however, 3 different crew models. The base Ridge crew that features bench seating front and rear with 6 seat belts and a flip-down armrest in the middle of both rows. It gets a beautiful 7-inch full-color TFT gauge. Then you move up to the Crew XR model, which, as we mentioned, gets seating for 4 with high-back bucket seats front and rear and adjustable seat sliders on both front seats. It also gets bigger tires, more horsepower, locking front and rear differentials, and accent lighting. And finally, you move up to the Crew XR Limited. This full jam model gets seating for 5 with low back bucket seats up front with a bench in the rear. It also gets an 8-inch Garmin Tread infotainment system in the center of the dash, a 9-speaker stereo system with subwoofer, front and rear cameras, a Warn VRX 4500 winch, and sport front and rear bumpers. All versions of the Crew use the same 14-inch aluminum wheels. The only difference between them is the style of machining. Kawasaki has dramatically improved cabin noise in the Crew compared to the 2 and 3 passenger models from last year, making it a more pleasant vehicle to drive when loaded up with passengers. It maintains the precise and confident handling characteristics of its predecessor, and power delivery is incredibly smooth, if not perhaps a tad soft due to the added weight and size of the Crew models themselves. The new Ridge Crew comes with a long list of other interesting features and updates as well. So if you're in the market for a full cab crew-length side-by-side with HVAC, you absolutely have to give Kawasaki's new Ridge Crew a serious look.
This portion of Dirt Trax TV has been brought to you by Suzuki. It's not a quad unless it's a King Quad.
When we're filming segments for the show, whether it's letting the rider know when the camera operator's ready, or whether the cameraman's moved up or down the trail, or if there's another rider on the course, communication between the rider and the camera team is important. This past winter, we started using Cardo's PACKTALK Edge ORV helmet-to-helmet communication system while evaluating snowmobiles in West Yellowstone for snow tracks. And our camera crew was outfitted with the PACKTALK Edge Phone ORV systems. This let us effectively communicate with our camera team and let Luke, AJ, and myself communicate back and forth so we could discuss comments and share our opinions about the sleds we were riding. Back at home, AJ found the PACKTALK Edge ORV useful while riding with his kids, as he could offer instructions or encouragement when they rode the trails together. A shining example of how a helmet-to-helmet communication system provides added safety and peace of mind while riding with beginners. The focus of this segment is Cardo's PACKTALK Edge ORV. I'm going to share some thoughts about this product and some tips on setting it up before you go out to ride. Full disclosure, this is the only helmet-to-helmet communication system I've personally ever used, and I don't have experience with a competitive brand to compare. So if you're looking at getting a system like this video is here for reference, and you can take my opinion as just that, but we always encourage you to do your own research before laying down your own money. The PACKTALK Edge ORV system is IP67 waterproof, which essentially means this unit is completely protected against dust getting inside, an obvious concern while out riding on dry days. Plus, it's water resistant enough to be dropped in a puddle or survive being submerged in about 3 feet of water without damage. So, as the trails get muddy, or the water holes get deeper, or the rain just won't let up, this system is designed to keep you and your riding party connected. Sound is by JBL, which is a company well known for rich, clear audio. In our experience, sound quality through the mic and the earpieces was excellent. In fact, there were several times the guys reminded me I didn't need to shout because we could just talk in a regular speaking voice and still hear ourselves very clearly. The system also supports hands-free control through voice commands, enabling you to operate music playback or adjust volume without removing your hands off the handlebars. The box comes with the following. Experiences may vary with different helmets, but we found the setup to be easy enough inside of ours. We use Moto-style lids with removable liners, which we found handy for wiring in behind the cheek and ear pads. Pro tip here, it may take a couple of tries to find the perfect spot for the earpieces to rest against your ears. We suggest taking the time to set it up to ensure the most comfortable setup and the clearest sound quality. A live Bluetooth intercom noise filtering mic attaches to the inside of the helmet with a 3M sticky that holds tight and delivers crystal clear voice quality while not picking up engine noise or external sound. This one impressed all of us actually, even our camera crew. I could hear the guys like they were sitting right next to me without any interference from wind or ride noise. The magnetic air mount fastens to the outside of the helmet and the transmitter attaches to it with a pleasant sounding click and holds tightly so it doesn't fall off. We've collectively put on thousands of miles with no issues. The transmitter detaches easily as well, so you can transfer between helmets or remove for charging. On that topic, we got a full day's use out of a single charge, and our research shows that the average user is getting more than 12 hours out of a single charge. Note that if you're concerned, a 20-minute charge can provide around 2 hours of additional usage. So plug it in when you stop for lunch or plug it into your side-by-side, and that quick charge will extend your ride. Once installed, you're almost ready to roll. Another pro tip here, ensure you've downloaded the Cardo Connect app to connect all your devices. Again, we highly recommend doing this before you head out on the trails, as there are multiple important steps to set up. Having the instruction manual handy or familiarizing yourself with the steps will speed things along so you don't hold up your ride group. This system also uses something called Dynamic Mesh Communication 2.0 that will connect up to 15 riders in your group. We had 5 riders attached at once with 0 issues, and we were all able to communicate effectively while filming. And although we can't verify, Cardo does claim this system will seamlessly connect other major brands as well. We found this most beneficial while testing vehicles while riding in a group, to be able to share opinions back and forth and communicate effectively with the lead and tail riders. Plus, back and forth chatting between the driver and passenger while trail riding in a side-by-side doesn't require shouting to be heard. The big question when group riding is range, and this unit will stay connected to its next connected unit for up to a mile in ideal conditions. It should be noted that in hilly or densely wooded areas, we have experienced breaks in communication. That said, its self-healing network ensures if a rider does go out of range, the connection automatically restores itself, maintaining group communication. If you're in the market for one of these systems, you know they aren't cheap, with the PACKTALK Edge ORV being a bit more premium priced than its main competitors. So like I mentioned earlier, do your own research and compare available features before jumping in. Now, this is usually the point in the video where one of you starts furiously typing a message to us about being able to get something similar for like 1/10 the price. I'm sure you can find something online that's way less expensive. Cardo itself actually has a value system that's priced more affordably. However, it's very likely these cheaper units don't boast the same IP67 water and dust resistance or insanely high quality JBL sound as the PACKTALK Edge ORV. So you run the risk of it crapping out on you in extreme conditions, which is essentially like throwing your money in the toilet. In our opinion, you usually get what you pay for. And in the world of off-road helmet-to-helmet communication systems, clear, reliable sound quality matched with high durability and resistance to the elements are factors you need to be most concerned about. Shop wisely.
DIRT TRAX TV has been sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Honda, life is better on a Honda. ITP, innovation, traction, performance. Fast HD, roam fearlessly. Kawasaki, let the good times roll.
In the case of nuclear or radiological fallout,
the mud riding segment has exploded in popularity over the past several seasons, becoming arguably the most dominant category in the ATV and side-by-side industry. With more purpose-built machines being introduced each season, designed for slinging mud and crawling through swamps, it's no surprise Polaris continues to refine its offerings in this category. For 2025, Polaris has taken things to the next level with the newly updated Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition, purpose-built to dominate the stickiest and muddiest terrain. This model builds on the proven XP 1000 platform, equipped with a bunch of mud-specific features that elevate both performance and durability. Let's take a look at what's new for 2025, what carries over, and how the Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition performs where it matters most. One of the most obvious upgrades for 2025 is the addition of 30-inch Pro Armor Mud XT 2.0 tires, mounted on 14-inch blacked-out aluminum wheels. These tires are made for the slop, boasting an aggressive lug pattern that bites into soft terrain and clears out thick mud effectively. While these tires aren't going to deliver the smoothest ride on hard pack or on trails, they're going to do a more than adequate job of getting you to and from the mud. And I think for mud riders, that's an acceptable trade-off. Arched AA arms front and rear help deliver an impressive 13.5 inches of ground clearance, which plays a major role in avoiding high centering when navigating rutted out lines or hidden hazards. Polaris knows that water, muck, and grime are going to find their way into places they shouldn't be. The Rad is mounted high up on the front rack, away from the worst of the mud, and features inverted dual cooling fans that provide efficient airflow while helping to prevent clogging. The clutch and engine air intakes are sealed and snorkeled, designed specifically to keep water and debris out while maintaining performance. New for 2025, the Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition now comes with sealed LED headlights, providing clear visibility when partially submerged or riding in low light conditions. The lighting is not only functional, it's durable enough to survive wet and muddy conditions too. Also, there's a standard 3,500-pound Polaris HD winch with synthetic rope, mounted high on the front bumper, giving you easier access to it when you're stuck deep. We've always preferred synthetic rope over cable due to its lightness and durability. We put this winch to the test more times than I'd like to admit during our testing, and it always delivered ample pulling power with no broken lines. At the heart of the XP 1000 Mud Edition is Polaris' ProStar 952cc twin, delivering a stout 82 horsepower. This power plant is paired with a sealed CVT transmission that features both high and low gear and has been tuned with lower final drive ratios, giving the ATV better low-end grunt and crawlability. Throttle response is generally good, but we found that initial engagement could be a touch more aggressive, particularly when trying to get moving in deeper holes. That said, once you're rolling, the Sportsman pulls hard and can maintain forward momentum even when conditions get ugly. Polaris has also tuned the clutch to allow for optimal belt engagement and less slippage. On flat stretches, the Sportsman hits the rev limiter at about 7,500 RPM, reaching a top speed of approximately 52 miles an hour, which is respectable for a machine that's more focused on torque and terrain crawling rather than outright speed. While trail riding in two-wheel drive, it felt like there was just too much input from the EPS, making the steering feel light and vague. However, once we switched to all-wheel drive, the feel improved dramatically, offering just the right amount of feedback and assistance to keep those big 30-inch tires pointed in the right direction. Polaris' signature on-demand all-wheel drive setup automatically engages the front wheels when slip is detected in the rear. While effective in most conditions, in extreme mud, we noticed a slight delay in engagement, and it's that moment of hesitation that can sometimes be the difference between maintaining forward momentum and getting stuck. We feel a selectable locking front diff would be a game changer on this ATV, and it's something we'd love to see Polaris incorporate on future mud models. The standard digital display is basic but functional, offering key metrics like speed, RPM, trip data, and vehicle diagnostics, and switchgear is easy to operate in wet, muddy, and sticky conditions. And despite being a beast in the mud, the Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition features this cut-and-sew seat that's supportive and comfortable and remains grippy when wet or when covered in mud. Plus, the spacious footwells and strong, durable floorboards help keep your feet planted and clear it effectively when things get messy. The Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition delivers where it counts for riders who love to get dirty. And whether you're a hardcore mud enthusiast or want a big bore ATV for more than just trail riding, the 2025 Sportsman XP 1000 Mud Edition delivers the performance, durability, and attitude Polaris riders expect from their ATV.
Make sure to subscribe and comment below for real interaction with the Dirt Trax crew.